In Andhra Pradesh, this beautiful plant is 6.5 gigawatt. As an example, that's double the entire hydropower production of Nepal, is as much as the entire grid in Nigeria, functioning grid, which is the largest nation in Africa. And whatever way you want to compare it, it's large, large, large. And even better news, next year, Greenco Group will set up a similar facility in Karnataka, then in Madhya Pradesh, then in Rajasthan and in UP. So this is the start of an enormous drive into pump storage hydropower and solar and wind energy in India. And there is nothing like this in the West, so India is leading. When we discuss the climate talks in, say, Berlin, we focus in the wrong direction. It's true that the diplomacy leads basically at the moment nowhere. There's no major breakthroughs in the diplomacy. The lead is not in the diplomacy. The lead is in business, in the economy, where a lot is happening. There are two major global shifts which people don't understand. One is the shift from diplomacy to business as the main driver of climate action. And the other shift is from the global West to the global South. Look, back in the days, the European Union was in the lead on everything green. If I asked where to go for a good environment practice, I would say you go to Brussels, you go to Paris, you go to Berlin. Ask the same question today, I would say you go to Beijing, you go to Delhi, you go to Jakarta, because Asia and the global South is now in the lead. I spoke about what's happening in Andhra Pradesh, but move on to Tamil Nadu. I just visited the new eco circuit in Tamil Nadu. That is 7 different protected areas between Chennai and Rameshwaram. Rameshwaram is where you can watch across the strait to Sri Lanka. It's a dugong protection area, it's a turtle protection area, it's an international bird observatory center, it's a mangrove, huge mangrove forest protection area. And India is very well poised to be in the lead. I mean, India comes with a philosophy which is very green. All major thought system of the world speaks about the environment, but hardly anyone speaks as much about the environment as the Hindu Dharma. Look, to all Indians, they venerated nature. The entire thought system is about nature. It's about nature to such an extent that all Indians made God half human, half animal. Ganesh, half elephant, half human, but full God. Hanuman, half monkey, half human, but full God. There can hardly be any thought system where you integrate man or humans with nature to such an extent, and it gives India an advantage in the thinking. Added, India also has a prime minister and a political leadership which really put environment front and center. I speak at many conferences. Prime Minister Modi hardly ever speaks about global climate talks. He's not really interested in that. He very rarely speaks about the mission. His topic is how can India go green and grow prosperous at the same time? How can India bring 1.5 billion people out of poverty, create a large, beautiful middle class, shine on the international scene by integrating ecology and economy into one? Western and basically leaders all over the world should learn from this message because it's an appealing message, and there's no dispute on this message in India. Even those political leaders, say Mr. Stalin in Tamil Nadu is not a supporter of the Prime Minister, or the communists in Kerala, which are not supporting the Prime Minister either, they never oppose the Prime Minister on the environment. They oppose on Hindu issues or cultural issues or the power of the center, something else, but not on the environment. Strong leadership, this philosophy, and now also a very vibrant business. Adani, Ambani, yes, but many middle-sized companies, Greenco, Acme, Renew, you can mention them all, and a huge number of startups are now driving business in a green direction in India. The other giant of the global south, which of course is China, is even further ahead. China, in May this year, added 93 gigawatt of solar energy to the grid. That's in 1 month, China added more than any nation in human history, except China itself and the United States of America, has ever produced. So this is enormous. The largest solar plants in China is, like, as I said, like oceans. You see solar panels in every direction. They just developed a new windmill, which is one windmill is 50 megawatt. Well, that means 20 windmills can make 1 gigawatt. That's as much as the largest hydropower plant we have back home in my nation, Norway. And the largest companies in China are far ahead. The biggest solar company in China is called Tongwei. They make more renewable energy or solar cells than any nation in the world except China. So if you had a ranking, it would be 1, China, 2, Tongwei, 3, United States of America, 4, India and Germany in the rank nations in the world. So India and China has now moved to the global lead, and this is very good. These are the 2 largest, most populous nations in the world. They're also the 2 fastest growing nations in the world, and China is growing at 5% from a bigger base. India is growing at 7%. So it's a lot of growth, and it's now largely green growth. And this should inspire the rest of the world to follow suit. Look, if you look on this in the context of sustainable development goals, there are 17 sustainable goals made by the UN. But in reality, there are 3: peace, people, and planet. I spoke about people and planet. We can go green and we can go prosperous. We can go green and improving education and health and make life better for people while we protect the planet much better. Added, we need to keep peace. And here the Global South is also in the lead. Look, China has not been into any war since 1979. India has never been into war with anyone except Pakistan. Indonesia has never been into any external war at all. Well, these are the 3 largest nations of the Global South. Brazil has never been into any war with any external enemy, nor has South Africa. So all the large nations of the Global South have kept peace. The United States of America, unfortunately, has been basically into any war for the last 50 years. They've been into wars in every corner of the world. And also Russia, unfortunately, has been involved in a number of wars. So the more power shifts to the Global South, the more likely it is that we can keep peace. You may have seen that last week the United States made a new so-called global strategy for its own nation. Created a lot of international discussions. It's very interesting because it's a strategy which basically says that the United States should not take any interest in any others. They should dominate America, full of contempt for Europe, is ignoring India. The one and only nation which is treated with some respect in the US strategy is China. Why is that? Because China is strong. China stands up. China has an economy which is now much more efficient than the economy of the United States. So the United States understand they cannot just speak about China with the same contempt as others. But it's a very, very clear signal to the rest of the world that you need to stand up for yourself. And India is very well placed to do that because India is a civilizational state, not just a small state like some African or European nation. It's a civilizational state. India carries a civilization. India is also the largest, the fastest growing large economy in the world. It's the 3rd largest economy in the world from so-called PPP measurement. And India is very strong leadership, strong business, strong civil society. So India can, on that basis, take its own agency and lead the world in a peaceful way, but of course with partners like Europe, China, Indonesia, Brazil, Africa, many, many others. So we don't really need the United States if they don't want to be with us in the struggle to defeat climate change, or to protect the world against dangerous diseases, or to provide development to the most vulnerable people in the world, say in Africa. Well, let's do it without them. Let's not wait for them. Hopefully at some point the United States will come back and work with the rest of us. But in the meantime, we just push ahead. Finally, a question which I very often get, and that is, what can young people do? And it was also answered by some of the previous speakers. The answer is a lot. Look, basically every major development in human history which changed the world was led by young people. You can find examples from India, from the United States, from China, from everywhere on that. And I think the best capturing it was made by Mahatma Gandhi himself. He said, "You need to be the change you want to see in this world. If you want to see a change in the direction of green, well, you must be part of that change." How can you do that? I'm sure every person who's listening to this discussion has social media access. Well, use that, showcase what you are doing, showcase what your friends or your classmates are doing, or what India is doing, or even if you see a good example from Latin America, or Africa, or wherever, from Bangladesh, well, showcase that and inspire people to do more.